So the big question beginners may be asking is, what exactly is Django? So Django is a Python-based web framework for building dynamic web applications. And we saw by demonstration how dynamic our website could be as far as using Django is concerned. Now, the framework makes it easier to build better websites or better web applications more quickly and with less code. And as we move along, we are going to see the relevance of why we need a framework as far as building web applications are concerned. So the question then is, who uses Django? And there are quite a number of institutions or companies that use Django. So for instance, Udemy uses Django. And there's also some news around that YouTube is built on Django, which I kind of believe, looking at some of the functionalities I experienced whilst using YouTube. Then also we have Firefox in there. Then we have Instagram for sure. There have been lots of documentations about it, and Instagram remains one of the biggest applications that have been built on Django. Then we have Pinterest, and last but not the least, we have Spotify. And clearly there's a large demand for Django applications, because trust me, if indeed all these websites you visit, as far as the ones I've listed over here, were built with Django, then clearly it is something worth learning. As far as Django is concerned, we are going to look at some few terminologies over here, and this is just for beginners. So in the Django, we are going to build a project. Okay, now the project is the overall web application, the setup, and all the settings. Okay, all the parts. So the project is going to be like the main house that's going to house everything. Now inside the project, we are going to have apps, and the app is a subcomponent or a submodule of the project, and it is an independent, or it is independent of other apps. So you can have one project and you can have about 10 apps within the project. And it is actually good, because depending on how extensible you want your website to be, you can add more apps. That means you can add in more functionalities. So right away, we are going to jump into VS Code and see how we create a Django project. So over here, I have VS Code opened. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click and open a new terminal. And inside the terminal, I am in my user's C drive, and I'm going to CD into desktop. So I want to create the project inside my desktop. And let me quickly switch over here. So as you can see, my desktop, I only have this dashboard folder, and this is actually the folder for the templates. Okay, then I have a main, so I don't have anything except for these two folders. Now I'm going to create a Django project, and even before we do so, we need to run a pip install. Then we type in Django. Now I already have Django installed, so clearly it's going to tell me I already have it installed, and a number of things. But if this is your first time, you definitely need to run this command, pip install Django. So as you can see over, it says requirements already satisfied, and I need not to install it again if I have it. So what next I can also show you is I can do a pip list. And when I do a pip list, this is actually going to show me all the packages I've installed as far as my system is concerned. So as you can see over here, I have Django 3.1.7, and this is actually the most recent version at the time of recording this video. So now that we know we have Django installed, now you can create a Django project. So you can do I'm going to type in django-admin. Now do start project. Then this start project is together. Then I need to give it a name. So I'm going to say inventory projects. So as far as naming the project is concerned, it has to be very simple and easy to remember. So when I press on enter, we will definitely have the inventory projects created for us. And remember, we are creating it on the desktop folder. Okay, so if I come to desktop, you are going to see that we have this inventory projects folder over here, and there are some few things we are going to look at them one after the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on file, go to open folder, and search for this. Okay, so inventory project, I'll select this and I'll select this folder into VS Code. So we have some few things over here, and the first thing I'm going to talk about is we have this project folder over here. So you have inventory folder. When we open it up, we have some things. I'm going to touch on them a little bit, but then the obvious one we can see over here is manage.py. Now, as far as working our way around Django is concerned, we are going to use manage.py a lot. We don't need to change anything over here as far as I'm concerned. But then what does manage.py give us? You don't even have to open it up. But then I want to show you something. And on line 2, you can see that it has a comment over here. It says Django's command line utility for administrative tasks. So this is what we are going to use to run a lot of the administrative tasks, and we are going to see them as we move along. So we need not to type this, so I'll close this up. Now when I open this, we see an underscore, an init.py file over here. We see asgi.py, we see settings.py, urls.py, and wisg.py. Now for the purpose of this work, we are mainly going to concentrate on the settings.py and the urls.py. However, the asgi.py and the wsgi.py kind of deals with when you are trying to integrate Django with other frameworks. So for instance, maybe you're using Django to build your API, your back end, and you want to incorporate it with a front end framework like, let's say, React. You need to have to do some settings in here, but then we are not going to go there. This beginner's course, we are going to stay true to what we want to implement. So what does settings.py gives us? Settings.py is basically every settings as far as our application is concerned. So if we should scroll down, you're going to see that Django provides us with some security, and this is where if you are hosting it on a server or something, we can apply some few things over here. So allowed host, people who can actually log into this application if it goes live. Now we have installed apps over here, and this is a list. So as far as installed apps goes, Django already has some apps in here for us. Now when we create our own app, remember I made mention of the fact that the project is the whole house and the app is within the project. Now if we create our own app, we are going to register it over here, or we are going to include it over here. There are some security issues, so you can see middleware. Now we're also going to look at what's in Django terms is referred to as templates. So we are going to see what templates are. And if you are working with a database for which we are going to work with, we're also going to see how we connect to a database. And by default, Django sets us up with SQLi 3. We will see how we connect to other database management systems like MySQL, Postgres, and the others. And this is basically that as far as settings.py is concerned. So settings is like, I mean, as the name suggests, if there are any settings we need to apply as far as our application is concerned, we are going to come into settings.py. So let me close this and come to urls.py. So urls, as the name suggests, it is a uniform resource locator, and this is where we actually do our routing. Okay, so as you can see, we have some comments in here, and you can spend time to read them, but basically what is happening over here is whenever we type, let's say, www.inventoryapplication.com, that inventoryapplication.com is a URL. So there's some kind of routing that needs to be done, and urls.py is going to handle it for us. So with that brief explanation, and as we move along, we are going to see some of these things very well. So I'm going to open the terminal. And remember, I made mention of manage.py, and I keep on saying that this is a Django command line utility for administrative tasks. So let's try and say we type in Python, and I'll do manage.py. Now I'm just going to type in help. So we need some help as far as manage.py is concerned. Now when we press enter and come here, you see what's available subcommands as far as manage.py is concerned. And if you want to change password, and we are going to get there very soon, and if you want to create super user, we have all these commands over here. Now first off, we've actually dealt with a particular command, and that's what we did over here with the start project. So as you can see, when we want to create a project, we need to do start project. Now you can see that we have start app over here. and there are a number of things. We have migrate, make migrations. We are going to see all these in action as we move along. So the manage.py is going to help us build our project. So I'm going to say Python manage.py, and this time around I'm going to say run server. So Django has a lightweight server. So when we type in Python manage.py run server, we are invoking the server to run so that we can actually work and see some visual things over here. Now pay attention over here. We don't have anything apart from the inventory projects and the manage.py. But when I run this, so I'll press enter, we are going to see something appear over here. So clearly we have the db.mysqli3 over here. And where do we get this from? We actually got this from our settings.py. You can see that when I showed you databases, we had this MySQLi3 in here, and this by automatic what Django gives us, we can actually make some changes to it and bring in our own database. But for now, this is what we have. Now let me open things up over here, and when a server run, it says that you have 18 unapplied migrations. Your project may not work properly until you apply the migrations for apps, admin, whatever. So we are going to see how we apply those migrations. But before then, we can see that on this line, say Django version 3.1.7 using settings, and we have the inventory.settings and starting development server at this particular URL. So what I can do is I can do a control and click on this link, and this is going to open up in my default browser for me. So by default, this is what Django gives us, and we can work from here. So by a matter of principle, I think whenever you are working over here, it's prudent you leave your server on, because whenever you make a mistake somewhere, the server is going to prompt you with some kind of error. So it's prudent you leave your server on and you open up a new terminal so that I can type in new commands. So let me once again collapse this so that we see everything happening over here. So now we have a project and we have our server running. Now remember, I made mention of the fact that we can have an app within a project, and later I'm going to explain more of how that happens. So I'm going to say Python manage, and as you can see so far we're only dealing with manage.py because that's a command line utility for administrative task. So you can say Python manage.py, and I'm going to say start app. Remember, when we are creating a project, we did start project. This time around we are doing start app. So I can do start app, and I need to give it a name. So I'll call this app dashboard. And once again, pay attention to what we have over here. We only have inventory projects, our db.sqli3 and our manage.py. Now when I run this by pressing enter, we are going to see the dashboard application over here. Now when I open this app too, you can see that we have migrations over here. Bear in mind, when we were running our server, we were asked to apply some migrations. Yes, we are going to go there, but you can see that some of these things are coming to life. It says what? Run Python manage.py to apply them. Okay, as far as the migrations are concerned, and we are going to see them later. But then when we open our dashboard folder, as I have, we have migrations over here. We have init.py, we have admin.py, we have apps.py, we have models.py, test.py, and views.py. So like I said, the project is the main structure or the main building, and inside the project we can have an app. So for instance, and with this particular example, we are going to have two apps within our project. Now we can also have an instance where, let's say, an e-commerce website, and this is where the apps comes in very handy. We can have an apps for the users, so anything that has to do with users will go into one app as far as the customers are concerned. Now you can have an app for shops. So remember, as far as an e-commerce website is concerned, let's say Alibaba or Amazon, there are lots of shops or vendors who register to use the e-commerce platform, and they also should kind of be separated from the user or the customer who is coming to buy. So if you get this whole concept, then clearly we are going to have interest in working with Django. Then we can also have, let's say, an app for the various courier services that handle the shipping and things of that sort. Okay, so there's some kind of division of labor. We don't want to cluster everything together. So the app is used to denote a well-defined aspect of a project. Then we can also have an app for different payment systems, and as you can see, these are separate entities in an e-commerce website, but then at the end of the day, they are going to work together. So as far as an inventory app or an inventory project is concerned, we are going to have an app for users, okay? And these users are going to extend to the staff, because the staffs are going to be the users of this application. Then we're also going to have the dashboard, which we just created. So clearly we've created a dashboard. Later on, we are going to create the users app. So I'll come back to VS Code, and now that we have our app created, what we need to do next is to actually register our app. So I'll collapse this and go to our inventory folder or our inventory project folder, and I'll go to settings.py. Remember, this has to do with some kind of settings. So we need to inform our system that yes, we have an app that we want to register. So we'll come to installed apps over here, and there's a list. So I'll just have to include the app we just installed. So the name of the app is going to be dashboard. So I'll do dashboard.apps and I'll say dashboard config. All right, so now we've learned how to create a project. We've also seen how to run the project or how to run the application, and as you can see over here, there's application running. And also we've learned how to create an app. We kind of know the basic concepts or the whole concept behind an app, and we've now registered our app. So this brings us to the end of this video. In the next video, we are going to look at the whole Django architectural framework and how we configure things over there. Thank you very much. Now, if you find this tutorial very interesting, there are a couple of ways you can help me grow my channel. Kindly subscribe to KenBroTech and share this video with friends and family who find this content very useful. Also, leave a comment in the description. And also, if you want to seek clarification with any concept or any question, feel free to ask any question. At KenBroTech, we say learn programming. You can do it. Bye-bye.